Hi. Everybody, the movie beginning with Killian Maddox dreams of becoming a professional bodybuilder. He suffers from violent attacks of rage and takes care of his grandfather. For dinner, Killian eats -1 dozen eggs, a large portion of meat. The walls and ceiling of his room are covered with posters of famous bodybuilders. Killian also suffers from migraines, nightmares and hears voices in his head. Recently, he threatened nurses by telling them he would cut open their skulls and drink their brains like soup. He injects himself with steroids and spends all his free time at the gym. Killian dreams of meeting bodybuilding star Brad van der Hoorn, to whom he constantly sends letters. Before a competition, Killian vomits from stress, but he pulls himself together, encouraged by his own beaming smile, and takes the stage. He gives it all he has, proudly showing off his impressive muscles. But the judges seem unimpressed. They quickly put it aside. Killian works and shops at a local supermarket. He likes a cashier named Jessie. But unfortunately, their schedules never coincide. Killian dreams of seeing his photo on the cover of a magazine. One day, after hesitating for a long time, he ended up leaving the store without saying anything. Then he comes back and asks Jessie out, but immediately assumes she already has a boyfriend. He apologizes and runs away before she has time to respond. Killian decides to make a video about himself to post on YouTube. He talks about his identity and shows his physique. But at some point the pain becomes unbearable and he collapses to the ground. He has to start all over again from the beginning. Unfortunately, the online comments are cruel. He is made fun of and some go so far as to wish him dead. In addition to steroids, Killian also uses cocaine to intensify his workouts. When he thinks the painters haven't done their job well, he demands that they add a new layer. When they refuse, Killian threatens to take care of it himself. He immediately jumped in his car and drove there. The store closes as Killian breaks down the door and starts destroying everything inside. A violent pain bends him in two. He falls again, injuring himself with broken glass, but somehow manages to escape. Eventually, this leads to a terrible accident. At the hospital, the doctors examine him and tell him some devastating news. He takes way too many medications. His blood pressure is dangerously high and his internal organs will soon begin to fail. They also discovered liver tumors requiring urgent surgery. Killian refuses the intervention. That evening, he fled the hospital and continued taking steroids. He has a problem. His legs just aren't getting any bigger. He was consuming 6,000 calories a day, but still wasn't gaining weight. Frustrated, Killian Googled how to make people like him. One of the suggestions was simple. Smile at work. However, the nice guy spat in a pie intended for a customer he didn't like. One day, Jessie called Killian herself and told him that she loves him. Go out with him. Killian got ready, shaved, dressed properly and got ready for the meeting. When Jessie touched his face, he almost lost his composure. He even blushed. He says you can't see it, but I blushed. She replied you can blush as much as you want, you're cute. Killian admitted that he only came to the store during his hours, just to see her. It turned out that Jessie liked her too. The conversation started off well until Killian suddenly whispered. My father is dead, my mother too, you look like her. She was murdered, my father killed her, then he committed suicide. They both died after that. Killian ordered 7 items from the menu. Jessie slowly began to realize that maybe she had made a big mistake by dating this strange guy. Killian was shocked when Jessie didn't recognize 2-time Mr. Olympia champion Brad van der Hoorn. How can you not know a guy like that? He asked. He asked him what kind of music. Listened, then added I want to become Mr. Olympia. Killian launched into a monologue about deltoids, biceps, reps, training and muscle growth. Poor Jessie completely lost her patience when he started describing to her how he threw up during his workouts. She told him she had to go to the bathroom, but escaped the restaurant and asked the staff to tell Killian she wasn't coming back. Devastated, Killian ordered more fast food and dessert. He wrote to van der Hoorn, entrusting him with all the details of his personal life. That day, Killian was preparing for a new bodybuilding competition. But before he got there, a group of guys whose store he had destroyed some time before, grabbed him and dragged him out of his car. Killian tried to fight back, but they beat him with iron bars and kicks, leaving him groaning with broken ribs. The bloodied bodybuilder still managed to crawl to his car. Nothing would stop him from participating in the competition. On the road, he tore off his clothes and pushed his way through the crowd, demanding to be let through. Everyone understood that it was this madman, so no one dared to stop him, especially since his name had just been called. The judges and the public were stunned to see this candidate beaten, swollen and covered in blood. Killian began to pose. His whole body was trembling with pain. His face was wet with tears. Finally, his body gave out, and he collapsed on stage. Killian later woke up in a bathtub filled with ice. A video of his performance had already gone viral in a fit of rage. He destroyed all the workout routine tapes and emptied the contents of his refrigerator. He tore each post from its walls and collapsed in exhaustion on the ground. He lied to his legal advisor that he was dating Jessie and was even on the cover of a magazine. According to Killian, everything was going perfectly in his life. That evening he brought a woman home. But instead of being interested in her, he just wanted to show off her body. He then began experiencing one of the most common side effects of steroid abuse. His equipment no longer worked. It only pointed downward, still stuck. At 6 a.m. at work, he became unusually friendly with customers. No one had seen him for a week and a half. Customers complained about him and other employees felt uncomfortable working alongside him, so the manager had no one else choice than to fire him. Under other circumstances, Killian probably would have split his skull open and sucked his brain out like soup. One day, while having lunch in a cafe, Killian saw one of the guys who had wronged him. The man was there with his family. Killian approached the children and told them that their father had his skull smashed with an iron pipe. Then he added, "Don't drink, otherwise you will become fat and no one likes fat people." Killian returned to his seat and downed a glass of cola in one gulp. "Don't look here. What are you doing, man? Shut up." Killian completely lost control and started yelling at the customers. Fat, bald, cowardly, ugly, short. After yelling at them, Killian muttered something to the anime playing on the screen, then stormed out and smashed a car window with his head. At that moment the police arrived. They twisted his arm, hit him with their batons and sprayed pepper spray in his face. Suddenly, Killian felt nauseous. He had broken several laws and still owed the owner of the damaged car $1,200. He understood that he was completely ruined. So he said goodbye to his lawyer and thanked the woman for trying to help him. Killian got into his car fantasizing about shooting everyone around him. Soon, packages began to arrive, each containing different parts. Killian used them to assemble a rifle. Assault. Then he added a shotgun, a pistol, and a large quantity of ammunition to his growing arsenal. At night, he would go to nightclubs to show off the shooting breaks he had practiced during the day. He was practicing aiming with his rifle. It felt like a tragedy was inevitably going to happen. Then, without warning, the phone rang. It was Brad van der Horn himself. Killian, Brad's idol, the legendary champion who had ridden hundreds of times, told him that he would be in town in a week and suggested that he meet. Killian then went to Brad's photo shoot and instantly fell in love with bodybuilding again. Better yet, Brad started complimenting him non-stop. He even let Killian touch his abs. "Perfect. You're funny, so you're my biggest fan, huh?" Yes, but in the end, van der Horn humiliated his biggest admirer and Killian didn't take it well. While Mr. Olympia was on the phone with his wife and children, Killian quietly slipped out of the trailer. Later, he started calling Brad constantly to make things right. "I just wanted to be friends and you did that to me. I will if you call me back, okay?" At the club, a stoned guy goat approached Killian and suggested that he get up a little in the toilet. The guy was delirious, full of hatred towards everyone. "I have a gun. You want me to kill them? Okay, yeah, go out there, scatter their brains all over the dance floor." Fortunately, Killian didn't kill anyone that day, but he did leave a message for Brad, promising that next time he would take action. That evening, Killian broke into a man's house with a shotgun. This man was a judge in a bodybuilding competition, the one where Killian's favorite muscle man had competed. Apparently, the judge had criticized one party's hamstrings, which Killian considered a serious affront. Although the judge promised to write to the committee to explain, it was already too late. Killian ordered her to change into her underwear, put on some music and gave her orders. Pull double biceps to the front, triceps to the side and don't forget to smile. Smile like your life depended on it. Then Killian forced the judge to kneel before him. The man screamed and begged for his life. But Killian didn't kill him. He left without further ado. Thinking of his favorite muscle man, Killian went back to Google to search for what should I do to be remembered. Google replied, be brave and change history. These words triggered something in him. Inspired, Killian killed a wall. Killian Maddox was here. He gathered his weapons and headed to Brad v. Darehorn's live show. Brad was on stage when Killian pulled a gun out of his bag and walked towards him. He stared at his idol for a moment, then opened fire. With each shot, memories invaded his mind, his parents, him as a child, his grandfather. He saw himself again on stage during his own competition. Then he came to his senses. Killian hadn't gone too far yet. There was still time. He lowered his gun and ran home. Once home, he broke down in tears and hugged his grandfather. Everything is fine, the old man said softly. We have each other. The next morning, Killian dismantled all his weapons and left the bag near the train tracks. When he got home, he flushed all his drugs down the toilet. Then he took a picture of himself in the garage and hung it on the wall. Killian believes that one day, very soon, the whole world will know his name. They will know who he is. Like and subscribe for more interesting movie like this. Turn on notifications and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.